Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Well, I'm working on Lloyd's reels still, and this one is a beautiful reel. This is an ultralight. This is the Penn 4200 SS graphite reel. Turns nice, free and easy, and he's got a problem. The bail only comes halfway, and he says on a hard cast it doesn't stick. Well, that's usually associated with a bent bail wire, and if you look here, we've got a tremendously bent bail wire here and a weak bail spring. So I decided I was going to go out and get both. We're going to replace that. We'll show you how to do it, and well, we'll see what goes with that. The issue with the bail and the tripping is probably in that when he makes a cast, the line is coming out and is actually touching this, which can easily trip that. So if we get that bail wire out of the way, that should solve that issue. I'm feeling for the trip lever itself. That seems to be working properly. So we're going to show you how to service this. This can be done on the reel or off the reel. He's not interested in having the reel service. He's interested in having this situation fixed. So that's what we're going to do for him today. And well, I always recommend the services, but you know, if the customer knows the history of the reel and maybe it was recently serviced and the like, then we'll honor his request. All right, there's a lot of grease in this spring. You don't need to grease springs. And let's take you through how to go about changing this bail wire over, and we'll show you how the bend affected the performance, and we'll get this one done. All right, whenever you go to repair a bail wire, watch out for your line guide, watch out for any burrings that may be in there. Get the orientation right on these. There's a little lock washer on the back end of the screw on this side, and there's a little pancake kind of a washer on this side, and it has an indent facing the line guide roller. All right, this is one of two common types of a bail spring. This one is a spring that nests in the case and then into the insert on your bail wire. So let's take that off. And I went ahead and I noticed the bend right away. I went ahead and ordered the pieces and parts, and that's what we're going to be installing today. When you take this off, notice if there is a difference, if one leg is longer than the other on these springs, notice where the longer or the shorter leg goes, because that will be important when you go to reinstall. I'm going to remove this now. I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to get the spring that we have, the replacement spring. And you always want to do this if you get a chance. The spring is not expensive. If it's available, it makes all the sense in the world to go ahead and do that, just because the bail may still fail. Okay, that lines it up. Too many thinking things going on here. The bail may fail if this has been weakened. So I'm going to set that aside with the old bail. And here's what it would look like, new versus old. We're going to line these up and show you the variant. So you can see how much further down that bend is than on the original. All right, how do we do this then? First thing we want to do is clean out this junk in here, because that grease is hardened, and that grease may cause that tripping as well if it's not allowing the spring to set fully. All right, I used a cotton swab to clean that up. Just a little bit of penetrating oil in here. And while I do this, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you like the art of fishing reel service and repair, if you're taking that up as a hobby. Hey, even if you have your own business, I always welcome folks to please subscribe, use my videos, help you along in giving reels a second chance. That's kind of what this channel is all about. It's keeping these reels out of landfills, keeping them fishing, and in some cases just either restoring a sentimental value to a reel, I know I work on a lot of reels that belong to people that they had as children, or maybe they were their dad's fishing reel or whatever. Whatever it is, just kind of catch up on it, enjoy the channel, take it for what it is, and again, if you subscribe, that's probably the best way to know when I'm posting. And if you use that notification button, that will help you to know the episodes that are online, and you can select from those the ones that you would like to watch. Okay, I'm looking for my safety pin now to show you. There is a hole here that will accept the spring. It's right there. And when you're doing your service, make sure that you locate that hole. Don't nest that spring just in the case it won't work. Find that hole and then put that tag end of the spring in, just like that. Once you do that, there's two sides to this. The shiny or rounded side faces out. Find a hole in your bail. Insert that tag end of the spring into it. And then press down to compress the spring and start to screw. It's going to take a little bit of hand strength. Not terrible, but a little bit. When you made sure that it's flush here, tight here, and no gaps or spaces, it means it would have been cross-stripped. You can test and you can see how the spring is performing now. And again, it's going to be on the trip lever on the other side that's going to solve that issue. All right, we can go back now and take our line roller. Probably the best thing to do is take the lock screw, kind of the reverse order that we had it out. Here's your lock screw, or screw with the lock washer. Bring that in, and what we said, there's kind of a dish side to this, a little bevel, like that's going to face towards you. And we have that line roller, and we have the bail wire. Just the line roller on the other piece goes easier. Line that up. Then set that screw. Continue tightening down on that screw until it's all firm. And now you can see how much higher up this is running than the other one that was bent is. And when we put our spool back on, you'll have the clearance now, so that as you go to cast, that line will not rub on here. And you can see I'm kind of tapping out pretty darn firm now, and it's staying in place for that cast. Okay, once you finish tightening that up, well, first thing we should see is that it has the clearance now, which it does. Second thing we should see is a nice, easy flip, which is, well, when you put a new wire on, if this wire has been bent, it can put all kinds of tension onto it. And, well, that tension can result in what I call ballerina bails, where they just kind of flop around on top. This one trips nice and free and easy, and mission accomplished. So I hope you've learned a little bit about the principles behind how a bail works, why it stops performing, in this case how to load one that has one of those, I call them paperclip springs, but it's the spring that has the double side to it. And also learn, do not oil that spring or grease it. It has no value there at all, and in some cases, maybe this one, it can clog it. Well, there's one more piece to put on here. That's that little shield. So let's get that in there. So these reels were made in the 70s and the 80s. This is the third generation of the reel. You would have the first generation being the greenies and the black golds, which were the Z series, but they were essentially the same reel, just with a paint scheme that changed a little bit. And then we had the 100 series, so the the reel that would correspond to that in this one would have been the 4200, and then you went to the 1000 series, so the 4200 as opposed to the 420. Then you started naming them in generations. Okay, let's just get this one back on. While I'm doing that, I want to take a moment to thank our police, fire, safety, rescue, everybody who's involved in keeping us safe and out of harm's way. I want to thank you for watching, and I want to wish you all a great day fishing on the water with your friends, or just a great day in general. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle.